In 1966, 7 years after the Triumph Bonneville's debut, a gleaming, purpose-built speed machine sat on the cover of Cycle World's 4th anniversary issue. At the time, the revised Triumph Bonneville T120/R was ready to continue its reign over British superbikes. Back then, the 120 stood for its top speed. A similar move in today's world would send mothers into a conniption fit before they got their complaint tweets off to @Triumph America. Nearly 50 years to the exact month, I'm staring at a 2016 Triumph T120 Black, but the 120 stands for something a little different. Namely, a change in displacement and demeanor. Like in 1966, the Bonneville family is of great importance to the brand's sales. 15 years after the Bonnevilles' return in 2001, over 141,000 have been registered worldwide. Then as now, the United States has been a top market for Bonnies. And in 2016, looking down the barrel of new emission regulations and after getting a bit long in the tooth, the Bonneville must evolve once again. This time, it took significantly more effort than just putting the oil in the frame, like back in '66. Radiators. Their aesthetic penalty confronts every bike that wants to continue living in the glory days. Like nicotine patches affixed to grumbling smokers on an airplane, in general, the evolution has not been kind to appearances or emotions. The Bonneville is only the latest to accept its water-jacketed fate with 4 Euro regulations on the way. Triumph has accepted the reality with aplomb. Extreme care has been taken to hide and minimize the visual impact of this march of technological necessity, especially on the T120R. Why? Because it is the most obliquely retro of the Bonneville models. To have a co-catcher radiator hanging off the front would spoil the show. Triumph aims to deliver unique experiences with each Bonneville variant, and for the T120, this means as classic-looking as possible. Here, like the T100 that came before it, wire wheels, pea-shooter exhausts, and a comfortable seat take the experience way back to the 1960s. Same old song and dance, but different wobbling out onto the cobblestones on a crisp Portuguese morning, head full of jet lag and eyes full of fog. You must look twice to recognize the T120 as a new model. The plump, round tank is right where it should be, and the headlight is just as round as it was before, but now sports LED daytime running lights. Yup, it's a Bonneville, although looking a bit more swollen than before. A bit of Botox on an older face, but the T120 looks as stately and elegant as ever. In fact, there's even more emphasis placed on taking cues from the 1959 T120/R to make the 2017 model look exquisitely quaint. The regular T120 features all the classic Triumph signatures such as chrome pea-shooters, rich and deep color hues, rubber tank pads whose shapes have been lifted from the old model. But on the T120 Black we sampled, the chrome parts are slathered in black. There is also significantly more detailing and finishing work. Subtle things like the recessed gauges, the finishing on the engine, the more authentic fake carbs that house the dual injectors, make for a higher caliber, higher quality look and feel. It's a more elegant machine than the T100 it replaces, thoroughly mixing old and new into a package that feels fresh instead of staid. And it took an engineering army to get the styling this way. The catalytic converter is hidden under the bike, the evaporative emission catch can is cleverly tucked away, and the radiator is one of the tiniest we've ever seen. Nestled between the frame rails, it is sprayed the darkest black in Satan's closet to keep it hidden from view. Even the hoses are minimized and placed closer to the backbone frame instead of hanging out in the open.